I am determined this week to prove to myself that, and maybe to you all, that if we are just consistent with our diets, you will lose weight. So that's what I'm gonna try to do this week, and let's see how much weight I lose. Yeah guys, yesterday night was horrible. We had the tornado sirens going on, and I'm like half awake right now because my daughter kept waking me up. She's scared, and then she woke me up really early, maybe around 5. So anyway, I feel really bad. Very extremely sleepy. What time? It's like 10 in the morning now, and I'm already ready to go back to bed. I have to drink my coffee and get started with the day. But since I didn't sleep good yesterday, I already know that I'm gonna be probably craving lots of carbs today, because you know the lack of sleep does affect your appetite. When you don't get enough sleep or don't sleep well, you keep craving carbs. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to deal with that too. So I have realized that I have not been losing weight for the past 2-3 weeks, and I know it's only because I'm not consistent, and there's nothing wrong with my food intake. Everything's balanced, and I know that my calories are good. Like it's not little, it's not enough, it is sufficient. So I am determined this week to prove to myself that, and maybe to you all, that if we are just consistent with our diets, you will lose weight. There's no way around it. So that's what I'm gonna try to do this week, and let's see how much weight I lose. Hi, in this video I'm gonna tell you 11 tips that I did to help me stick to my diet. I'm not gonna tell you anything like some kind of information I got from off the internet or some kind of article that I read. Actually, it's just things that I did myself. They're so simple, and they worked for me. So it could be something, you know, that could work for you too. They're little tiny small changes, but yeah, they're really effective when you're trying to stick to your diet. The first one is planning. Like before I sleep, when I'm in bed, because I have a little toddler, I'm just holding up the phone like this and trying to go through my list of things that I can't eat the next day. And that's how I log in my breakfast, my snacks, and lunch and dinner and everything I'm thinking to eat. Now, that doesn't mean I don't make any changes during the day, because sometimes I do. And that's fine too. As long as you're in your budget, that's fine. I always make sure to start on lunch very early. Meaning, whenever I'm done with breakfast, boom, I'm back to the kitchen and I try to prepare my lunch, because I know that for me, now I don't know if it's for you too, but I get hungry like really fast. Another thing, number 3, I always make sure that I have a snack on hand. Meaning, you like popcorn, skinny popcorn, almonds, apples, cheese, hummus, and as a dip, use it with vegetables, whatever you like. Just always have something on hand, because if you get hungry, you need to eat that. With me, if I don't eat that stuff, if I don't have a snack, I can eat pretty much anything I see. My hunger shoots from 0 to 100 really fast. So I already know what happens, so I try to avoid that. So for this week, I had knafe. Somebody brought me knafe from Chicago. I'm in a different state. We don't really have that kind of stuff here, but anyway. So I wanted to eat it, but what I was taught is I had to divide these things into smaller quantities, into smaller servings, and kind of label them with the number of calories they have, so that I could know how to, you know, kind of manage that into, like, squeeze it into my diet and log it. Another thing I have to do all the time, if I have candies, I buy myself candies and I buy my kids separate candies, but what I have to do here is I just hide everything from my sight. Like sometimes if For example, my husband brings in a cake. I actually cover it up with a plastic bag or something so I don't keep seeing it and then keep wanting it. It actually does help. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it does help. It helps for me. Another thing I always do anyway is eat vegetables with almost every meal and water. That helps a lot. Now, another thing I do while eating, and this only works, again, if you're not if your hunger level is not all the way to the top. I eat slowly. I eat my lunch slowly and my dinner slowly, and yeah, but not that kind of slowly. Not that much. I eat slowly because it takes about 20 minutes for the brain to get the signal from the stomach telling you that, hey, I'm full and you have to stop. Also, drink water with your meals is another thing you can try to do too. Like you take a bite or two and then you drink some water, sip some water. It could help. What happens if I am craving something? I eat it. I just eat it simply. But I don't eat it in large amounts. I eat it just in moderate. As I said, I just pack stuff away and label it, how many calories each serving is. And I just grab one and I just eat it. There's no way around it, not for me. I crave something, even if I eat everything else, like I try to eat alternatives of that thing that I'm craving, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And if I know that it's not gonna work, I just eat whatever I'm craving. Sometimes my daughters come and they bring me or offer me something, candies, cookies they bought from Panera, or pizza or whatever. I think about it for a minute. Should I eat it? Am I really hungry, or do I really feel like it? If I don't feel like it and I'm not hungry, I just say, no, thank you, I'll just eat it later. I can take it. I take it from them and I save it for when I do feel like it or for when I feel hungry. Extremely important. It's really important for you to log your food, what you eat every single day. Important. There's no way. You have to calculate how many calories you took for that day, and so please log what you ate. Some apps even show you how much carbs, protein, and fat you've ate that day. And that helps you with the macros. Yeah, it tells you what you ate more than what, or what you should be eating more than what, and it helps. It's actually gonna help you understand what to choose, what kind of foods you should be choosing. And even if there's no time for me to log, like let's say I have an appointment, I'm rushing, and I have to leave. I don't have time. What do? I leave everything on the countertop and I snap a picture, and just for me not to forget what I ate. And whenever I have time, I log all that. Some people keep a consistency calendar. It's like a big calendar, and then with those big squares, and the day that you did stick to your diet, you can either put a circle or a check mark. The days you did not stick to your diet, you put an X. And that tells you, like when you see it in the big picture, it tells you how many days you stuck to your diet with how many days you did not. And that gives you a bigger view of, are you really consistent with your dieting, or do you need to be more consistent? That helps. On my phone, the app that I use, it already tells me when I did and when I don't. But sometimes for some people, it's like a visual thing. It has a bigger effect on them to see things in a bigger picture than rather on the phone. So it's all up to you. You can do that. You don't have to, but I honestly don't, but I know some people who do, and it's working great. So this is the laundry room, and today I was standing here and I heard something. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's some kind of animal. I thought maybe it's a squirrel, but no, thinking about it, it's birds. So I had to send my husband outside to check on the vent for the dryer machine. He found a lot of stuff, a whole big nest, but thank God there's no eggs or anything like that. So we're trying to clean this out and cover it up. The vent cover, I don't even know where it went, what happened to it, but there was a cover in it. My husband took off the rest of it, but part of it, a big chunk of it was not there, so that's why they got into the vent. Guys, be careful, because these birds, if they build any kind of nest inside, your house can literally just burn down. So you don't want that to happen. So what is he doing? We happen to have a compressor, so he's using that to kind of blow out anything that's in there. It really worked. Oh my goodness. It's still blowing out stuff. So I just ate my lunch and it was just okay. The recipe called for fresh zucchini, and I didn't have what I did have was let me grab a fork. I had this kind of zoodles. It's made out of zucchini, so I thought maybe I can exchange that. But honestly, I didn't like the taste, so my lunch was just okay. Now I'm craving something sweet. Like, I am really craving it. Thinking about it, I thought maybe I can make, this is a whole wheat pancake, and I thought maybe if I just use this with some organic maple syrup, it would work. It would like satisfy my craving. So that's what I'm gonna do. I made it so I know what's in there. I know exactly how much of everything I put. It's really healthy. I love this organic maple syrup and spread it all over. I didn't put any butter. It's just the way it is. Yeah, it seems to be working. I'm enjoying my meal. This is why we say weight loss, with weight loss you have to be really creative and smart and think about things before you actually eat them to get the results you want. So the big question, how much weight did I lose this week after being consistent? I lost 1.5 pounds, and that is without doing any kind of exercise, just being consistent with my diet. So yes, I did do a better job this week. Maybe my next goal should be how to be consistent on doing exercise.